Good morning. It's the start of the week. Just getting started on doing stuff, sorting more screws. Hopefully we'll get that pipe tested to make sure that it's not leaking. John, our Sparky, is still gone today. Bob's over here. He's wiring for the intercom on the airplane. We haven't been able to do much on testing equipment. Dave's been otherwise occupied on other projects, and I've just been sorting screws, trying to get through it. So we'll see how the day develops, and we'll get back to you. Okay, so last week we made the repair to the pipe for the to run the ram that closes and opens the door in the passenger compartment. Well, I found out the reason why that wire was disconnected. The wire was kind of not wrapped up nicely, so Jan had John disconnect it, and we got that back where it needs to be. So we're ready to test to see if we've got a leak. So stand by and we'll find out. All right, so hopefully that's a bird's eye view for you. You guys let me know if it leaks. All right, Jan. Okay, so what do you guys think? That looks pretty dry to me. Nothing going on there. That's great news. Okay, we've got a gauge in here. Let's see what that says. Okay, Jan, you want to run it again? Okay, so when we first got this airplane, the airplane was sitting like 2 foot off the ground, and the only way we could get into the airplane was going up over the top or trying to climb in through one of the windows. So eventually we took the door off so we could climb in under the belly, and Jan rebuilt the door 10 years ago. We've just been waiting to get it where it is now so that we could operate this door. Well, we came up with a set of rules on how this door closes. So you got the door, you got the stairs, Jan's in here. Eventually, when this is all done, there's a flip down door that is the floor of the airplane. And once the door is closed, this panel's down, it'll be just like a seamless cabin floor. So we've got the rules here. They're kind of hard to read because they're sideways. Door open sequence. Stay clear of steps during operation. Push button momentarily while unlatching. This is to let it down. We don't have the instructions on the outside yet, but essentially it's push the button, let it come up, and then there's a handle on the bottom, and I'll show you that here in a minute. And you latch that, and then you let go of the belly door operation switch. So Jan's going to go ahead and show what happens here. So the first thing is he's inside the airplane as if we were getting ready to depart.
So the first thing we'll do is raise the steps. Next thing we'll come over here, and now we'll push the button to close the door. And latch it up.
And there's the latch. And then to reverse the procedure.
So reverse, we'll push the button, unlatch it.
And then it falls down on its own accord. Okay. So this is what it looks like from inside the cabin. Jan's going to go ahead and I'll pull the stairs up. Now, I've seen some of these doors on other aircraft that as soon as the door comes up, it retracts the stairs. We don't have that mechanism, and so this is what we have to do. We have to put the stairs up, otherwise they collide with the fuselage. So then Jan hits the button over here, and this is what it looks like. Okay. And then, like I said, there's a door that'll flip down here that'll cover all this. It'll look the same as if this wasn't here. It'll just be this over here. So you want to go ahead and drop that, Jan? The reason why we decided to pressure the door is to get it up off of the latches so that it's not dragging in and out of the latch holes. So yeah, so got one more thing to look at while this is going on. So hold on. One last thing that we want to make sure we know. You can see that red light on. That means the door is not latched. So we're going to test to make sure that that light goes off. So Jan, you want to go ahead and run the door? And there it goes. Fantastic. So that's another system completely ready to go. Go ahead and drop the door, Jan. That's so cool. So just to kind of give you an overview of how this all works, this is just a simple hydraulic fluid pump. Goes through this, comes out of this reservoir, goes through this main line over to the pump. And then, so then the pump, there's a line, there's this flexible line that comes off of the pump, and then it goes over to the cylinder. So here's where that line comes out and feeds the cylinder. Well, this cylinder is only single acting, and it retracts, and that's what pulls all of this cable assembly up, and this cable is what closes the door. And this is just an arm. So when this is fully extended, this is not fully extended. When the aircraft gets in the air, it's going to have a few more drop of inches. This should be right clear back into here. And so this relief valve right here is an adjustable regulator valve, and all it does is control the amount of pressure that's being fed to the cylinder, and it's also the buffer for when the door falls back down. And so, Jan, this looks like a really good system now.
I think it's pretty tight. Looks really nice. Wheel well is turning out to be really quite beautiful.
And
Functional.
We're pretty happy with making sure we've got everything safetied and tied up in here. I just need some jacks to get this thing in the air. Anyway, onward, we'll see what the next thing is. So Jan and I are on a little field trip, and this is a great day. Let me turn the camera around. I'm standing here with Kelly and Jan. Kelly is our man at Duncan.
Yep.
That's going to paint our airplane, our wing.
Yep.
Anyway, what kind of jet is this?
This is a Challenger 604.
So this is obviously a paint booth that's big enough for our airplane. This is exciting. So why did we come over here today, Kelly?
We gotta get the paint matched up as close as we can for this, what the flight controls have already been painted on this aircraft. So.
No, this is super. So you have two paint booths.
Correct. Yeah. When we'll walk down, we can show you the other one. But this is basically where all the majority of the painting is done. We'll do a little bit of paint work down in the other side, but that's more for like the stripping side and the priming and the sanding.
Okay.
This is kind of pretty much exclusively painting over here. This is fully climate controlled here, air conditioned, heated. Yeah.
This
So
is
you can fit a 737 in here?
No.
not quite.
No. We can. The biggest plane we've had in here is a Global 7500, which when that's in here, the tires are kind of about up at the front of these grates.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty huge.
Yeah.
So this is your paint booth.
Yes.
This is where it'll be painted.
Yeah.
And all of this masking has been done in another hangar. Or did they do it here?
Like this stuff right here, they were just doing that this morning. Basically, what's going on today on this project is it's getting the stripes laid out on it, and then we'll actually mask up the plane, roughly to paint stripes, and then basically after the stripes are painted, they get reverse taped, and then you paint the overall, whatever color that is. So,
So we have a vacuum system in here
for sanding, or are you just talking for
dust control.
For dust control, there's the sanders we have a vacuum on them.
So
themselves.
for painting, while you're painting, you just wet the floor down, or how?
We don't wet the floor down in here. This is a downdraft system, so basically anything that's getting kicked up the idea is it's getting brought right back down.
So you start at the top and work your way to the bottom.
Yep. The other paint bay is a cross draft, which we do wet the floor down in there. So yep.
Well, let's go down and take a look at that.
You bet. And we just painted this one. It's just starting up for detail process today.
Does it come out of green, or is this new, or is this?
This is a refurb. This is actually I think it's serial number 7.
So it's
an old 650. Obviously.
650s come out?
I think they started coming out in 16. I think it was somewhere around there. Yeah.
I thought they were new airplanes. So we're up to 750 and 850 now.
700 and the G700 I think just got approval not too long ago. But yeah.
Wow.
Yep. But yeah, this aircraft will actually fit on this side with that curtain down, and then we can put that Challenger 604 on the other side.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is impressive.
I am so excited.
But this, like I said, this is our cross-draft side. So basically, we'll do all of our chemical stripping, all of our sanding, priming, sand primer, all that stuff's done over here. So
We're down here in the silk screening process room. Kelly's just about to show us. Wow. So you can do all this stuff in-house?
yeah, we build all those. Basically, we got all the most aircraft that we paint, and then every now and then we'll get an outlier that we'll have to just build on the spot, but otherwise we just reuse these.
That's how that works then. Okay, this is the surface I was concerned about when you lay it down. I thought you had this much bulk on each side.
Yeah. So basically, you just put it on there and then put some ink on a squeegee.
That looks like the verbiage we need too.
So, like we were saying, you don't sand it or anything. It just gets pretty. And those ink placards will last a long time. But
that's the hard way to do that.
Yeah. Well, Kelly, we're going to have to talk about this some more.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we really appreciate your time.
You bet. Yeah. You bet.
And we'll get out of your hair and let you actually do some work instead of
All good.
BSing with us.
Yep.
And we'll be talking to you here shortly.
Sounds good.
So we have a new corporate sponsor that I'm really happy to tell you about. I was in Fort Worth last fall and talking to the manager of maintenance there, Bill Gorin, and told him about our project, and really a nice guy. I like Bill. He told me, well, when you guys get ready for batteries, you let this guy know. And he handed me a card with a gentleman by the name of Dave Vega. He's the regional sales rep, I guess, for Concord Batteries. So for the last several months, he's been working with me to spec out some batteries, and we got them. Hey, I'm standing out here in the parking lot here at the hangar, and the FedEx driver just showed up and says, I got a pallet for you. And so I walked out here, and this is a pallet of 2 brand spanking new batteries for high maintenance from Concord Battery. They were kind enough to sponsor us, so we'll get these unloaded and see about putting them in the airplane. It's a great day in Provo. Let me tell you about Concord Battery. Concord Battery Corporation is a manufacturer of premium quality lead-acid batteries. They manufacture batteries for aircraft, marine, medical, telecommunications, and emergency backup applications. Since '79, they have made batteries for shipboard use for the U.S. military and militaries around the world provided the Department of Defense with over 150,000 military batteries. Okay, this is what we've been using. These are Concord Batteries Platinum Series, just like the ones that we just got in freight. These were removed from old aircraft that these had expired for use in the field. So we've been able to use them for testing, but they're way not up to snuff for starting engines and running this airplane on a normal basis. So Concord Battery, the corporation, they are really, they love to support the warbird community. And so here we are. So we've taken delivery of 2 brand spanking new batteries for our aircraft. Well, so we've done what testing we can do in here for instruments. Let me tell you what's going on. So the jury is still out on these because we don't know what, if these are pressure turn and bank or if they're vacuum turn and bank. Here's one of our airspeed indicators. It's already starting out at 25 knots. So that's no bueno. Here's the other airspeed indicator. These were both in the plane, by the way. This one is already starting out at 30. That's not going to work. Now we do have a good altimeter. This one works great. This is the one we tested in the video. This is a VSI, vertical speed indicator. The problem with this is that it's only 2,000 feet. A26s can do a lot more than that. We do have another altimeter, but the control knob to dial in the barometer is way tight. So that's not going to work. The rest of these instruments on here, these are all stuff that we don't have the ability to test. Okay, these are the ones we could test. This is the BSI for the co-pilot. It came out of the co-pilot side. It's reading 1,000 foot too high. This is the pilot side. It's got a really sluggish needle when you put vacuum on it, and it's inaccurate as well. This is probably a good vertical speed, but we don't have this kind of cutout in our instrument panel. This one here, tested out, it has an erroneous reading. It's not where it's supposed to be. That's the altimeter. Here is another altimeter. This is reading 250 foot too low. And this is an altitude indicator, but if you watch the gauge, the numbers move when you rotate the dial. So that's not going to work. So we're really on the hunt for instruments for our airplane. I'm up here in Jan's office, and we've had a couple of meetings about the Enunciator Panel. Well, I don't know if you remember or not, but a couple of weeks ago I was talking about the Enunciator Panel in the dash, and I didn't think we were going to do it that way. Well, we've come around to thinking it a different way, and we are going to do an Enunciator Panel between the fire suppression stuff. Let me turn this around and let me show you what's going on. All right. Here's our fire suppression panel, and I'm trying to do it without dropping stuff. So you've got your left engine fire suppression, you got your right engine fire suppression. In the middle is the little jewel that Jan's building, the Enunciator Panel. And I'm going to let him do some explaining, and then we'll show you some drawings on the computer. So tell me what's going on here, Jan.
Okay, so we needed to have a panel in here that we could sense several different things in the airplane, like oil pressure, fuel pressure, vac system. Okay, so we've come up with this little panel right here, and each of these red things are LEDs, and they're going to be hooked up into the system to sense different things in the airplane. Like we'll have oil pressure here, fuel pressure, oil temperature. Down in here, we'll have a starter disengage, vac system, and a spare. And here we'll have a test button that will push this button, and we'll get an indication all these lights that they're all working properly. This will also be tied into the master warning buttons on each side for the pilot, the co-pilot, to know that those lights are functioning as well. So anyway, the challenge here was to come up with a part that was going to fit into the room that we had here, and be able to put this in the airplane so we can put it in and take it out as needs be. Anyway, so what we have here is the front panel in black, the LEDs, and then the printed circuit board. This particular design is not complete yet because on top of this board here, the main board, there's going to be another piggyback board that will carry the connector, the input-output connector, as well as a processor that can go on there, and it'll electrically hook up to this board here. And then whenever light comes on, we'll have text right in here to say what's at fault, or tell the pilot to look down on the instruments to see what's exactly going on.
And that's basically what an Enunciator panel does. If you're not paying attention, it will alert you that there's a problem somewhere in the airplane.
Correct. So you have a master caution. It'll tell you to look at the Enunciator panel. It'll tell you to look at an instrument if you're not already paying attention to the instruments. Kind of one of the cool things here is that as I'm doing my work here, I can cut this open and I can go back and forth and see how things are looking.
And you do this in SolidWorks.
This is SolidWorks, correct? Yep. Yep. So there's that. That'll be our Enunciator panel.
Okay. Pretty cool. Okay, well, it's Friday. We've had a couple of meetings on this Enunciator panel. It's busy. We're really fortunate to have John and Bob, our Sparkies. They understand this stuff and how to make electrons move around. So I want to say thanks for watching my videos. Hopefully you'll come back next week. I'd really appreciate it if you haven't subscribed. If you would, please like, share, and do all that stuff. And we'll see what happens next week. Thanks for watching. And yeah.
Stay there.
And it's fed off of this reservoir, goes through this main line right here. This is dumb.
There you go. Done.
Can I sneak in there for a minute, Bob? I'll only get you a little bit on film.
You can walk bold in the